Girls dress at graduation, her kick makes them beg for mercy. It begins with a strong, dramatic hook, builds up emotional tension and character depth, and includes 2 viewer engagement prompts. The story is written in a long paragraph style, with no dialogue format, to suit your storytelling style. Bullies tier new girls dress at graduation, her kick makes them beg for mercy. The auditorium had never been so silent. All eyes were on her, torn dress hanging like a defeated flag, mascara-streaked cheeks trembling, and fists clenched so tightly her nails dug into her palms. The laughter of the bullies still echoed in the corners of the room, ugly and raw, but they didn't realize what they had awakened. Because this wasn't just about fabric, it was about every insult swallowed, every tear shed in silence, every night she'd gone to bed praying the next day wouldn't hurt as much. And when her bare foot slid back, her body shifted low, and her leg launched into a flawless spinning kick that dropped one of them to the floor like a sack of guilt, everyone in the room finally understood, the new girl was not here to break. She was here to rise. Backhand index pointing right. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and standing up for those who can't, please take a second to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps powerful stories like this reach those who need to hear them most. It had all started just 3 months earlier, when Alina walked into Ridgeview High as the quiet new girl from a military family. Her father had died in service overseas, and her mother moved often to escape the ghosts. By the time they reached the school district, Alina had been in 6 different schools in 5 years. She had learned to keep her head down, not because she was shy, but because she had learned that silence hurt less than betrayal. The kids at Ridgeview, polished and perfect in their designer clothes and manicured reputations, didn't take well to newcomers, especially not one who wore thrift store jackets and read books instead of scrolling through apps during lunch. But Alina had one secret they didn't know: after her father's death, she had found refuge in something fierce. She trained in martial arts every morning before school, mastering not just moves, but discipline. Her father had once said, "Strength isn't loud. It's steady. Silent. Like a storm before it breaks." And every day, she carried that with her. At first, the bullying was subtle. Whispers behind her back. Tripping her in the hallway. Fake kindness with cruel undertones. She could handle it. She always did. But what started as passive cruelty evolved when Chloe, the reigning queen of the school, daughter of a powerful politician, and idolized cheer captain, decided that Alina's quiet strength was a threat. Chloe was used to being the center of attention, the name on every whisper, the face in every camera flash. And yet somehow, the new girl with no friends and nothing to her name seemed to carry more grace in her silence than Chloe ever did in her spotlight. It drove her mad. So, she declared war. The months leading up to graduation were hellish. Chloe and her clique intensified their torment, dumping juice in Alina's locker, posting edited photos online, calling her charity case and combat orphan. Alina never cried where they could see. But at home, her mother saw the bruises, not just on her arms, but in her eyes. Still, she refused to transfer again. "I have to finish this one," Alina whispered one night, more to herself than to her mom. "Not for them. For me." As graduation day approached, Alina focused on preparing for her final test at the Martial Arts Academy. While others worried about prom and parties, she practiced with focus so sharp it could cut glass. Her coach, an older woman named Master Lin, had trained with Olympic athletes, but said Alina had something rare: emotional fire. "When you release it," she once told her, "do not hold back. Let your truth strike." Alina didn't know what those words meant until the very end. Graduation day arrived like a thunderstorm hiding behind a sunny sky. Alina dressed carefully in her cream-colored dress, modest, delicate, and a gift from her mother, who had worked overtime to buy it. She tied her hair into a soft braid, took a breath, and walked to school for the final time. The auditorium was packed with parents, cameras, laughter. She sat alone, waiting for her name to be called. Chloe and her clique watched her like a lioness circling prey. And just before Alina could step onto the stage to receive her diploma, the unthinkable happened. Chloe, with a smile that curdled blood, called out, "Wait, you dropped something," before yanking Alina's dress from behind. The seams tore loudly. Gasps erupted from the crowd. Alina stood frozen, exposed, humiliated, raw. Some laughed. Some were stunned. But no one moved. No one helped. And in that moment, every suppressed pain, every swallowed cry, every bruise and insult rose in her like fire. She turned around, eyes blazing not with rage, but with release. The auditorium blurred as she stepped forward, barefoot, her heels discarded in panic. She shifted into stance instinctively, her body becoming an extension of truth. Chloe barely had time to speak before Alina's leg swept through the air in a perfect spinning hook kick that knocked her smugness to the ground. Another bully lunged toward her, down with a side kick to the ribs. The third stepped back, hands raised, face pale. The crowd didn't cheer. They didn't need to. Silence was louder. Security rushed in, but Alina didn't resist. She stood tall, shoulders back, dress flapping like a warrior's flag. Her mother ran to her, hugging her close. The principal, shaken but wise enough to see the truth, cleared his throat and said, "Let the young lady speak." And speak she did. With trembling hands and a heart finally unburdened, she said she wasn't ashamed, not of her father, her scars, or her silence. But that day, she chose not to be silent anymore. The auditorium erupted, not in laughter, but in applause. After the incident, everything changed. Chloe faced disciplinary action. The school board issued a public apology. And though Alina was offered the chance to return to private graduation, she declined. "That was my graduation," she said softly to Master Lin, "and I passed." Her story spread. News outlets covered it. Messages poured in from people who had felt powerless for years. Her strength became their strength. And yet, Alina didn't seek fame. She only hoped no one would ever have to be silent again. Backhand index pointing right. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of the power of resilience, the courage to stand tall, and the beauty of fighting back with honor, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs strength today, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more stories that heal and inspire. And now, dear viewers, we ask one special thing: speech balloon comment below. Tell us if you've ever witnessed or experienced a moment when standing up changed everything. Let's lift each other with stories of courage.